I played at Egg London,
Right.
and I played 5 till 6 a.m.
Right.
and it was a hard set to play. I didn't think it would go off as much as it did. I have got a video of me actually dropping this tune, and they just loved it. And I was like, this is what I'm about. I love it. I love it up here. And I was very fortunate that at the time that track was almost perfect for the moment.
Welcome to Cue Drops, my DJ story, the show where DJs share with us some of the tracks and moments that made them who they are. I'm Cabbage, and today we're joined by Lewie. With a focus on house, disco and techno, he started DJing in 2015, and his high energy and funky sets bring a blended style of mixing where he loves using loops to create moments within tracks to keep it fresh on the decks. He's played at venues across London. Highlights include sets at Egg London and Lightbox, alongside festivals Highfields and Give, where we met this summer, as well as on the White Isle, Ibiza. Thanks for coming in today. It's great to see you again. Welcome to the show.
No worries. Thanks for inviting us in to play.
Tell us a bit about when you got into DJing. So how did that happen?
It was probably 10, 11 years ago. I would say when I was 20, 21. It was a small Newmark controller, which you literally plugged your iPhone into.
Okay.
And then you sort of had to download an app on there and then just learn sort of through that.
Right.
So I'd done that, taught myself, and then ended up managing to get my first gig in 2015 or 14, something like that. So I used those. And then had some Pioneer 900s, which I don't know if you know, but the screen is nothing like it is now.
Right.
The screen's the tiny little one. It has the waveform, but the waveform is probably smaller than your fingernail.
Right.
So you can't really see the breakdowns and the rest of it. So yeah, it was an experience to say the least, trying to learn on those. But once going from the Newmarks to the Pioneers, from there to the clubs, it took me a little while to get used to it. But once I kind of got the hang of it, I've always liked music.
Right.
It's always been a big part of my life since I was young. And I think being introduced to this at that sort of age has channeled me into where I am now, going through the different genres and just working out what exactly works for me.
Right.
Like I know some genres work for some people, some work for others. And doing what I do, loving more like disco and sort of more upbeat house, works for the way that I play.
Yeah.
And if it goes that way, then fine.
Let the music lead you.
Yeah, literally exactly that. Yeah, and then every week I'm playing, I just try and explore new avenues and work out if there's new tunes but with an old style or old tunes with a new style. It's like, it just kind of
the music you want to play finds you.
Oh,
for
sure.
And then you go down this massive rabbit holes where
definitely.
you're online for 12 hours.
Oh, definitely. I like to listen to a lot of mixes by my favourite DJs and stuff, and I'll just constantly be shazamming the tunes in the track. You're like, I found this really cool tune that I want to play. That opens up a whole other area of tracks that you're looking into, and you're like, I found this. Before you know it, like you say, you're 12 hours into a track hunt, and you found tracks that you never even thought you would find.
That's what's amazing.
Which is why it's so good.
And also, when we started talking about you coming on here, I listened to one of your mixes, and the first two tracks, one was by a band called Surface, who I'd never heard of.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So I've bought about 8 tracks of theirs now.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
And then there was a Gwen Guthrie track, which I also bought that. I loved it. So that's, it's great to always be surprised by...
It is, definitely.
Being introduced to acts and tracks you haven't really heard before.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's part of DJing, isn't it? Just listening to music and being like, that could work in my sets. And then playing it and then finding out if it does work or if it doesn't. Yeah. So, that's how you learn.
Exactly. So on to the first question.
Yeah.
And that is, what's one of the first records or tracks you bought when you first started DJing?
So the first track I think I bought was actually an album. So it was a Defected 2015 most rated album, and it had loads of different tunes on there, all wicked tunes from various different artists. But the one that stood out for me most was Floorplan, Never Grow Old. But it was the replant. So obviously it was like the disco sort of sound, but a very deep with a Detroit background.
Yeah.
So it's like got the hard techno sort of beat to it, but it's also got the vocals of something that you think you would find in a disco track.
Yeah.
And that for me sort of resonated with me because the way I look at music is I'm very much sweet and sour. So I'll listen to a track and I'll think, that sounds sweet, as in like nice and joyful, but then I'll listen to another track and I'll think, that sounds sour. Whereas this one had a mix of both, and I think that's why I really enjoy it, because it's like it is a hard track to listen to, but it's also got the uplifting element to it.
Right.
So I think that was why I was like, I'm going to buy this album. And then it was that first track, and I was like, that's what sort of got me into working out what I kind of like to play as
Great.
a DJ.
So let's hear a little bit of this. It's so good.
It's so good. I love it.
So, do you know who the vocals are?
I don't actually.
Aretha Franklin.
Is it?
It's Aretha Franklin.
Yeah.
So basically,
I actually should have known that. Yeah.
I went online to look when you sent
okay.
your tracks in, and because I never heard of Floorplan either, and that's
Have you not?
Robert Hood, who I
it's
love.
Robert Hood.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And so I was telling Benji earlier when he was doing the edits for to listen back to that I went out. First of all, I bought Never Grow Old by Floorplan. I bought the track, and then I was like, oh my god, is that Aretha? Like, who is that? And I looked online, so I've now bought the album that samples from. Which is called Amazing Grace from 1972, which is her doing gospel again after she left the church.
Oh, really?
So thank you for that.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah.
I can't wait for that to come from Discogs.
Yeah,
so I'm really excited,
awesome.
but it's, oh my god, that is a brilliant track.
It's awesome, isn't it? Yeah, he does
amazing.
so many tracks like that have got that Detroit house, but they sort of he puts those vocals in. So there's another one he does called "Tell You No Lie." I don't know if you listen to that.
Okay, I'm going to be buying that one.
That's by Floorplan. That's probably my second favorite track of all time. So yeah, definitely check that.
I mean, that Never Grow Old is nearly 10 minutes long.
Yeah,
it's tempted to say to Benji, let's just put the whole thing in.
It's a long track. Yeah, it is a long track. So I've kind of had to. Yeah. So
thank you for that.
Yeah, no worries.
Right. So then the next question is, what's a track that reminds you of your first DJ gig?
So this track is called "Only Love Can Set You Free" by Dione, but it's the Bicep remix.
Right.
And in 2015. I played in a club called Fez, which is in Cambridge. And if you imagine if you imagine something that's like caves, but in a club, so it's really low ceilings, like not too far off your head, really dark and dismal. The DJ booth is very, very close to you. You're almost on the same level, but there's like a little sort of glass perspex frame around you, and that's all there is.
Right.
And this track, I was hunting for ages, trying to find something that sort of fit my sound, that was disco but also upbeat, because I love the disco stuff, as obviously I've said. But I was also upbeat, and Bicep are again one of my all-time sort of favourite group. But this one, I found this one and I was like, I have to play it, and the crowd reacted like I didn't think they would. Like it was awesome to sort of feel, and it was really upbeat and lifting with a really, really nice vocal, and I think everyone enjoyed it. And for me, it just reminds me that first time I ever played in a club, to have that feeling of everyone grooving to the tunes that you're playing is just the best. It's the nicest feeling that anyone could. I think everyone should try and experience it once, at least in their life. You know.
I agree.
So,
let's hear a bit of this. So this is "Only Love Can Set You Free" by Dione.
I think it's Dione.
Okay,
I think
and it's a Bicep remix.
Bicep remix. Yeah. It almost sounds like it should be from the 90s, but it's
Yeah.
not. It's just, it's a really cool, uplifting track.
And
So-
obviously, I'm assuming the crowd went mad for it.
yeah, they did. Yeah, it was great. Like to play that tune when I dropped it, everyone was like, "Oh!" It was just like, yeah. It was
And did
a
they know
wicked
it,
feeling.
or-
No, no one knew it.
No, right.
Well, no one came up to me and said, "Oh, I know this track." So
Right.
I'm assuming that no one
Right.
knew it. But
So the next question is, tell us about a track that reminds you of a memorable gig of yours.
so this track is called Divina by Christoph, who's obviously been around for a long time. So this track I played at Egg London,
Right.
and I played 5 till 6 a.m.
Right.
and it was a hard set to play. It was very late. But to be fair, I didn't arrive there until 1 a.m. because I thought
Right.
if I'm playing at 5, I don't want to be getting to the club at 10 p.m.
Yeah.
Like, it's just not gonna. I'm gonna be so tired. So I just thought if I get there in nice enough time to enjoy my set and I'm not tired, then I can play the tunes that I want to play and really enjoy them. Whereas I feel like if I'm tired, I'm going to play them and not really enjoy them. Especially at 5 or 6 o'clock in the morning,
Yeah.
everyone's going to be
How busy was the club then?
busy. It was like busy, and this was probably in the early days of my DJing as well.
Right.
So when someone said to me, "Oh, do you want to play 5 till 6 a.m?" I'm like, that's a late slot, guys. Like, that's going to be hard, but I'll do it because I love music.
Yeah.
But yeah, I ended up playing this tune, but the first time I heard this tune actually was in Sankey's in Ibiza.
Right.
I don't know if you've ever been there.
I have. Yeah.
Do you remember the void, like the red trumpets?
Yeah. I mean, there's not a lot I remember about Ibiza.
Well, yeah,
obvious
that
reasons.
is very true. But I just remember being in this club and having the red trumpet sound system, which are very distinctive, but they also had speakers in the floor. And this tune just came on, and I was just like, "What on earth is this?" Like, I tried to Shazam it. I couldn't get it at the time. So I remember videoing it 3 or 4 times on my phone and some friends' phones. I was like, just to make sure I got it. And I got back home and I managed to find it on Shazam. But yeah, it was a hard hunt for that track. But I
Right.
managed to find it, and So I thought I'd play this, 1, because it was probably one of my favourite tracks at the time, and 2, because it's such an uplifting song that it just gets everyone going.
And what was memorable about the gig? Was it that it was
I think it
that-
was purely for the fact that it was 5 till 6 a.m.
Yeah.
Like, not a lot. You don't speak to a lot of people that say, "Oh, I've played at a club," but what time did you play? Oh, I played quite early. It's like, actually, I played 5 till 6.
Yeah.
I played the graveyard shift.
Yeah.
When everyone's sort of
I mean,
been
you're definitely
there.
going to remember that.
Yeah, everyone's been there a long time. Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah, but that's an interesting crowd to play for.
It was very interesting. So I managed to go for a different sort of variety of tracks, and no matter what I played, everyone was up for it.
Funny that.
Which is quite, given the time of the morning, people are they'll just enjoy anything you give them. But yeah, this is the one that really stood out for me.
Great. So let's hear a bit of this. So this is Divina by Christoph. Almost progressive house.
Yeah, very much so.
And it sort of like builds and builds.
Yeah, it does. Yeah. Throughout the whole track, you got different. Each breakdown is very different.
Yeah.
So the last one is the one where it really punches in. It's awesome.
I've
Really
got a
good.
wicked remix by Christoph, actually, of Last Train by Eli and Fur.
Oh, okay. I'll have to listen to that.
It's amazing. Yeah, it's amazing.
Oh, man. Yeah, I'll have to get it. Yeah.
So the next question is, what's a track that you'll always play out if you get the chance?
So this track is called Dope by Butch, and it's something that no matter where I am, no matter what time, I will always play this track. Every time I play it, I get goosebumps, like regardless of what time it is, even if it's at someone's house or if it's at a set like 2 or 3 in the morning or 10 to 11, I'll always play it because you can play it any time, I feel, because it's very progressive, but it's also very like dub-like, if you know what I mean. So it just gives, for me, it gives me a really like sense of energy. Like when I play this and the first drop comes in, I just feel like, right, we're good to go. Like this is what's going to get people going. Right. I feel like when the drops come in, the energy in the crowd just lifts. Like, I've never experienced, like, after I play this track, it's just, I really, really enjoy playing this one.
Great, let's hear a bit of this. Yeah, it's wicked.
So you just sort of feel that sort of progressive, like, sort of sound that just gets everyone sort of like lift. It's like almost uplifting. Yeah, it's really nice.
I like the fact that I wrote notes and like it builds for about 4 minutes and then it just carries on.
Yeah.
Promises a crescendo, but it doesn't come.
Yeah.
It just carries
it's
on.
Almost like the whole track just builds from start to finish and you don't really get anything, but you also get something at the same time.
I would love to hear that out.
Yeah. Butch, he does a lot of really cool remixes like that.
Right.
Yeah, of a lot of different tracks. I can't think of anything right now, but he does. Yeah, he really does. Yeah, man.
I'll definitely look them up. So what's a track that reminds you of a gig that didn't go as planned?
So this one's called Roadkill by Dubfire. It's a very heavy track. Well, in my opinion. So I was lucky enough to play in Scotland probably a few years ago now, maybe 5 or 6 years ago actually. And I was supporting Jasper James. I don't know if you know Jasper James.
I don't know.
Yes, he's a Scottish DJ. Well, again, one of my favourites. But I had kind of in mind a sort of sound that I wanted to play for the night because I'd looked at previous videos and stuff. I'd looked at Jasper's stuff, what he sort of plays, and I kind of went off that, made a playlist of just like a load of tunes. So at the time I could sort of dip in and out to see what people are feeling. But I got there and the people before me were just playing, like they were playing hard stuff. So I was like, I can't really go a bit softer if they're playing harder because otherwise the tempo of the night won't fit. So I ended up coming out of this playlist, looking into my other tracks, and I found this one and I played it, and I didn't think it would go off as much as it did. I have got a video of me actually dropping this tune and they just loved it. Like, and I was like, this is what I'm about. Like, I love it up here. And I was very fortunate that at the time that track was almost perfect for the moment.
It's brilliant.
So you can just imagine that on like a big sound system, just pumping through, and everyone just it was awesome.
I've actually got this track.
Oh, you have?
Yeah, I've got
wicked.
it.
It's so good.
I love it. Yeah, I love it. I love it. As soon as I played it, I was like, oh my god, I've got this. I love it.
It's hard to find something that fits before it and fits after it that complements it. I found, but if once it's in, because it's obviously, as you know, with having it, it's quite a long track, but the last breakdown to the last drop is just it really
Brilliant.
drops. It's awesome.
It's brilliant.
I loved it. Yeah, but the Scottish people they went wild for it.
Was Jasper James there still?
Jasper was there, yeah. So it was nice to get the sort of like approval from Jasper as well.
Right.
It was good. Yeah,
Amazing.
It was really cool. Really cool.
So next question is, what's a track that reminds you of a favourite DJ you've seen live?
So this track is called House-O-Matic by DJ Dion, but it was actually Jackmaster that played it. The late Jackmaster. It was a Channel 4 secret gig in London. So I was fortunate enough in 2016, I just entered this competition that they were releasing tickets for. You didn't have to pay for it, it was free. And thought, you know what, I'll chuck an email in there to see if I got it. And luckily enough, I got it. And it was on a Thursday night in Canary Wharf.
Right.
And he'd done this one-off thing for Channel 4. And I went there and it was just... It was awesome. Like, I just didn't think it was somewhere that I would be or lucky enough to get tickets to. And he played this tune, and I'd never heard it before. And when he played this, I've never seen a crowd go wild for it. In such a small venue, such a big tune, everyone was. It was wicked. So this always reminds me of Jackmaster when I see him at Canary Wharf.
Right.
And yeah, just he is my favourite DJ. He always was, and he always will be.
Right.
Just the stuff that he can do is incredible.
Let's hear a bit of this.
Yeah.
Automatic. 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 Automatic.
Yeah, I love it.
So you can imagine that just in a small tight venue with people there. It was wicked.
And was it filmed?
I think it was filmed. So you had to be really careful where you were walking because there was cameras set up everywhere. It was awesome. I can't think of what the event was called, but I just remember it was for Channel 4, and they said to us, when you walk in, be careful because there is cameras set up, and just sort of stay within this sort of perimeter.
But then a track like that comes on,
and you're like, how can I not groove to this? Because it's so uplifting. It's awesome.
And what I love about it is all it says is House-O-Matic.
That's all he says. The whole tune.
That's literally it.
Yeah, that is literally it. But it's got the breakdowns where it goes to the piano, and it's just it's quite an erratic tune though, isn't it?
Brilliant track.
It's really good.
So the last question is my favourite question. What's a track you'd love to play out, but you haven't found the right setting yet?
So this track's called Dahlia by Hammer and Bicep. Again, Bicep, one of my all-time favourite. It's a very soft and gentle starting song that comes in with a nice beat, and then it kicks into some piano. And for me to play this out on a night, it would have to be either the start of the night or right towards the end. And I don't really get, other than the egg set.
And so you're thinking egg again, aren't
yeah,
you?
I think,
But it's the wrong crowd, I
But
think.
it's completely the wrong crowd. Yeah, when you hear it, you'll think maybe this wouldn't be the right tune. But it's quite rare that I'll play right at the start or right at the end. So for me to put this tune in, it would really change the dynamic of the evening. So maybe one day if I was to do a set, an all night long set, I would probably start with this tune and then build it really slowly.
Right.
But I think for me to put it into the middle of a night, I don't think it would go very well. But it's a shame because it's such an amazing track, and it's really, really well produced, and it just sounds, when you listen to it, it takes me away every time I listen to it.
Yeah.
So
Great.
I love it.
So let's hear a bit of this. love it as well.
Yeah, you can't imagine that sort of being dropped
No.
in the middle of the night, can you?
No.
It just doesn't. It wouldn't work. But I mean, maybe if Bicep played it in the middle of one of their sets, then it would be fine. But for me to play it, I don't think it would work.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, it's amazing.
I mean, there are sections of it that you probably could bring in, and it would probably fit. But I feel like the start of the tune is the most important bit for me for that track. So I don't think if you were to bring it in, it wouldn't quite fit. It just builds and builds and builds, but then kind of doesn't really go anywhere. If you know what I mean.
I mean,
So,
I've on a few of these shows, I've talked to DJs and I've said that I love big vocals, and I love big tracks, but the tracks that do it really well can be the simplest ones.
Yeah,
that just
definitely.
don't do that
Yeah,
much.
I agree.
But they get under your skin, and you just love them.
Yeah, definitely. I agree with that one. Definitely is something that I'll always love that. Since the first time I heard it to the last time I hear it, it will always be one of my favourite tunes. And it's hopefully one day I'll find the time to play it out.
Well, you have your own festival. You start your set. You go right. It's my festival. My name on the door.
That is very true.
I'm playing this track.
Yeah, that is very true. Yeah.
But I think even then you've got to be playing at the right time.
Yeah.
Because once people are dancing, they're dancing.
Yeah, that's
right?
true. Yeah. I mean, at the festival Highfields, there have been times when I played first. And sometimes with festival, it's hard because you don't really get that much people
I was
there.
going to say, you don't want to waste it.
You don't want to waste the
You don't
tune,
wanna
so
waste
it's
it,
like you give you play a later set, but it won't fit because you've got the crowd and everyone's pumping.
Yeah.
So it's working
Such a
out
funny
the right
mindset
balance.
you get into as well. It's like, I don't want to waste that tune.
No.
I need to play that at the right time.
At the right
I'm not
time
going to play it
for the right people, and it will sound how it's meant to sound.
Yeah,
So yeah,
brilliant.
But yeah.
Well, listen, it's been really great having you in and hearing your stories and listening to the tracks.
yeah. Thanks
Thank
for
you so
having me.
much
Really
for coming
appreciate
in.
it. Yeah.
I can't wait to hear the mix.
Yeah, man, it's gonna be good. Yeah,
Good.
awesome, wicked.
And there we have it. That's the tracks, the stories, and the mix from Lewie of his DJ journey so far. Thanks for listening, and thanks to Lewie for coming in to talk to us. This has been a Cabbage and Bubble co-production.